What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I said that I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. I've showed this footage, many times. This is the footage of Austin Metcalf, and Karmelo Anthony. There's a lot of people that have been talking, within a lot about this. But one thing about it is that they're trying to change the whole narrative. They're trying to change everything that has happened, within this day. It's truly sickening. It's truly sad. I find a lot of it odd. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. Oh, I am gonna say. I find it completely odd just how everything was set up. It just made it seem like Karmelo had, this on his mind, whether if it wasn't Austin, but some other individual, because a lot of this is just very, very, I don't know, it's weird to me. More so of, of setting this whole thing up. It's definitely weird. As y'all see here, you had a lot of movement going on. You obviously see Karmelo Anthony here, right here in this area. Do what he did, goes up here, turns around and looks and seeing what he did and runs off. Like I've stated, runs off, falls, and darts all the way down. He then gets stopped here and then later, picked up by police officers.
Back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm going to put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspect's detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast.
So they have Karmelo. I know a lot of y'all have seen this body cam footage. This is the time where he ends up seeing a female cop. Obviously cries.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here in the north end. They got staff tending to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already? No.
There's a female cop for individuals that didn't get to see her, because I had a lot of people that comment, I don't see a female cop. A female cop didn't walk up. She definitely did. After that, he spoke regularly.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Oh.
No tears, no nothing.
I don't know yet, man. Karmelo, C-A-R-A. K-A-R-M-E-L-O.
I feel like it's past that. When you're asking if somebody's going to be okay, seeing of what you did and the damage that, is done. That's why it's always that you pay attention and you realize you just stop and think for a second on how you have to face the consequences, regardless. But I just look at the simple fact that this is definitely wild. It's definitely sad. A sad situation. And one thing about it is that, just like I'm about to be talking about, when it comes down to everybody switching up everything, everybody lying about stuff, the Karmelo Anthony supporters, these celebrities and all, this is definitely sickening and sad that you sit here and praise somebody that took a life, especially in this way. You got it right here, Megyn Kelly, having a strong message towards Karmelo Anthony supporters. Check it out.
Now, with all of this evidence released to the public, are any of these supporters beginning to understand why Anthony was found guilty? Are they sorry for their incendiary rhetoric? Are they sorry for Hunter Metcalf and causing him more harassment and harm by starting a Change.org petition to have him arrested for assault, even though there's zero evidence he laid hands on Karmelo Anthony? They want the brother arrested. There are literally people out there saying that they should dig up Austin Metcalf and piss on his grave and on him.
Sickening.
Are they sorry? No. Certainly haven't expressed one word of that. One well-known Karmelo Anthony supporter, Tiffany Billions, #goals, who helped raise money for Karmelo after his arrest, writing on X, quote, Releasing the footage of a terrified black teenager on Juneteenth is a slap in the face to all of Black America. Karmelo defended himself against monstrous bullies. Karmelo is alive because he defended himself. You can clearly see Karmelo Anthony being attacked under the canopy. This is why we'll keep fighting until he's free. This is not about black versus white. This is about civilized versus uncivilized. Mm-hmm. It's about honest versus dishonest. It's about sane versus insane. These people do not speak for the black community. I will never accept that. This is deeply wrong, and all rational people see it, irrespective of skin color. The red that Austin Metcalf bled is plenty evidence for most of us that he was the victim, not the other way around. And as we've been outlining, the tape shows nothing of the sort that Tiffany Billions describes. It's just so upsetting. And it's incendiary. It's incensing, right? You can hear it, I'm sure, because I can't stand this. The Metcalf family has suffered enough, and they don't need this additional pain.
They definitely suffered, and still going through a lot, regardless of him getting 35 years. They lost a son just because, obviously, an individual did the most. I feel like, and this goes for all these kids out here, excuse me. Oh, bless me. So sorry. This goes out to a lot of the kids that's out here, a lot of the teens, because I've been seeing a lot of teens and, everyone that is truly is just sickening. You have so many people that rather use a weapon than their hands. Back then, wasn't none of that. What they have now, what they're carrying now, and stuff like that. I mean, it was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't none of it, but it definitely was way less than now. I would see on the news rarely of a 10-year-old or 11-year-old doing this, doing that, and they freely doing it. 10, 11, 12, 13 downtown. And then took a life or caught with a handgun or something like that. And I'm telling y'all, it's definitely crazy, definitely sickening. Got it right here. It says Carmelo Anthony supporters are mourning. Let me tell y'all something about this, bro. What pisses me off about this is that you truly have these individuals that are treating Karmelo like he's the victim within all of it.
Tomorrow, and that's when the so-called sentencing trial will begin.
Yeah, we see people hugging outside the courthouse here. And when they go to the sentencing part of this, which Brooke has laid out for us really well, it will be the same jury in this Texas jury in McKinney, Texas, who will decide the sentencing for Karmelo Anthony. He could get life in prison for this murder charge in the death of Austin Metcalf, whose death he has just been convicted of. So there is a whole nother part of this process. In terms, Paul Morrow, of how the judge has handled this case, which moved very quickly, your reaction?
Well, the sequestering of the jury, I think, was the right move from the get-go, right? They have to feel that they're going to
So regardless of this, when it comes down to it, somebody literally put this is how, they view Karmelo, I guess. And then they have it at the bottom of the statue, did do it. I'm telling y'all, this is literally how they're treating him. Literally how they treat him. You got it right here. Reverend Jordan Wells posted, says Stephen A. Smith is right. No more excuses for the unaliving. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Dr. Umar Johnson claiming Austin Metcalf fell onto Karmelo Anthony's knife is pure nonsense. It definitely is nonsense. I've never heard of it like that. When I heard this, I'm not playing with y'all. I thought he was just joking. I thought he was playing. It says multiple witnesses saw Anthony pull the knife after warning, touch me and see what happens, and then did what he did to Austin Metcalf, right in the chest. Says the jury convicted him of, this unaliving after hearing the evidence, not some accident, obviously. And they know that. Says black people and everyone else need to stop making excuses for this unaliving. Bringing a knife to a track meet, escalating the situation, and doing this to another kid isn't self-defense at all. Accountability isn't anti-black; it's basic justice. Stop defending the indefensible, and that's exactly how I feel. It's obviously how a lot of, I would say, common sense people feel. When it comes down to it. Check it out right here.
Austin fell onto Karmelo's knife trying to attack him because the knife is 3.5 inches. The cut was only 2. Loon, if I'm stabbing you, why am I going halfway with a knife blade that's only 3.5 inches? You fell onto my knife.
I heard no evidence of Karmelo Anthony or Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I heard no evidence of that whatsoever. And there were 21 people who was considered for the jury. You had your grand jury testimony and all of this other stuff going on. And there was 21 people that were talked to. There were witnesses that were in attendance. Nobody talked about Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I don't know where that comes from.
At all.
I don't know where that comes from. And obviously because of how severe the penalty was, 35 years in prison, we're going to take into account history from an historical perspective, from a racist perspective, and we're not going to be uncomfortable with the discrepancy that exists between somebody like Casey Allison compared to a Karmelo Anthony. I got that part. But that doesn't give us a license to then turn around and to just come up with stuff that might have been, as opposed to listening to the evidence that was actually disseminated and making reaching a conclusion based off of that. Karmelo Anthony was quoted as saying to Austin Metcalf, "Put your hands on me and find out what's going to happen."
Exactly. One thing about it, like said, I don't know why they're pushing these fake things of Karmelo did, except the fact that he got this 35 years because it could have been a lot worse. So accept that and go on with it. Stop doing that. It gets even worse, though. You have celebrities, like I've said from the beginning, that is truly just got to stay in their place, especially when it's something like this. If anything, just like, Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross is a person, obviously looking at the simple fact, that was wrong. That's something that you don't do. Donated $10,000 to Austin Metcalf family. Haven't seen any other individual. I don't know. Me personally, I would definitely want to see other individuals. I would say, because, they had this talk, with Jeff Metcalf. He's on Fox News. And he was asked by Will Kane, has anybody else said anything? They mentioned Trump. They mentioned, different individuals. And I said, no, not yet. I would love, for him to be remembered in a way. I would definitely would love for him to be remembered. Just a second, y'all got to take this call. Now, I promise you I'm editing out this video. My car is literally getting fixed. I apologize for that, though. Car's in the shop, so I have to answer that. Definitely apologize. But you have right here, like I said, it is getting worse and worse. It says 3 people in custody for assault on a random woman leaving a bar. This woman is, a white woman, said that she heard them verbally say that free Karmelo as they were targeting white people. Says 3 women have surrendered and been booked into Gregg County Jail following the alleged unprovoked, racially motivated assault outside of a bar in Longview, Texas. The attack is linked to supporters of Karmelo Anthony, of 3 individuals, as y'all see right here. Tell y'all, it gets sickening and sickening day by day. First, it was people attacking, I think it was like homeless individuals or something like that. Definitely insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's homeless individuals that obviously white homeless individuals that was on the street, and people literally supporters of Karmelo go and just hit them, and assault them. And it's definitely sad. And then you hear about this. I told people that this is definitely something that will truly get bad. One thing about it, we just gotta pray. Just gotta pray. I don't know. It's definitely a sickening thing that you have people that are like this. truly don't understand. But they might as well get 35 years too. Got it right here. Latinia Brown says that she's been very quiet about the Karmelo Anthony trial until now. Check it out.
You know, I've been like really quiet about the trial of Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. And I'm just watching, you know, the critics and these so-called activists defend this young man, Karmelo Anthony, after he's taken a life and tried to make it about race. No, this is not about race. This is about someone who took it upon themselves to bring a weapon to a school, to a track meet, and decided to end another kid's life. This is someone's son, someone's brother, someone's grandson. He had his whole life ahead of him, and you guys are trying to make excuses for this brutal, vicious murder that did not have to happen. And you're coming up with your own theories. And to you celebrities, I think you should keep quiet and just keep your comments to yourselves, because that family, Austin Metcalf family, they're the ones who are suffering so much. And for the media, the mainstream media on the left, to spin it and make it seem as if, you know, Karmelo Anthony, you know, killing this young man, taking his life, it should be justified. It should never be justified. I don't care who it is. No parent should have to bury their child.
Exactly.
Okay, no parent should endure something as tragic as this. This was murder, and I don't care what you guys say. I don't care that you try to make excuses and say, well, he's a kid. No, this was someone who thought this through. He knew what he was doing. He took a weapon to a school with intentions of harming another.
That's the thing that I keep saying. I find it very odd that he did take this to a school to do this. And I said it might not have just been Austin. He might have. This is something that I feel like you're only obviously taught. And that's why I say it starts with the parents. You got a parent that had a warrant out and had a rap sheet of theft and this, that, and the other, and you've got taught from somewhere that it's okay to have this knife. You truly, and on top of that, I've heard from reports of what I did last year of him already getting in trouble in school for having a knife. I'm telling y'all.
He is the bully. It's not Austin Metcalf or his brother. Karmelo Anthony, he is the bully. Mm-hmm. You know, I pray for both sides, but I really pray for Austin Metcalf's family, because they will never be able to see their son again, ever. Celebrities, you all should refrain from making comments. And you far radical left activists, keep your comments to yourself, because you cannot bring back that woman, those two parents' son back. You cannot bring back their baby, okay?
Definitely. I got to find a thing, too. I guess somebody had got, I forgot what it was. I don't want to, something within this school. They got, I'm going to get back to it. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But one thing about it, and I'm going to show y'all this, probably going to have a lot of people. I just, got to ask this. It was something. I don't know if it was a scholarship. It was something, though. I'm pretty sure it might have been a scholarship. Because they started that, with Austin Metcalf. So I don't know. We definitely going to check up on it, though. But y'all got it right here. This is the question that is, over X. I've seen this numerous times. Says free Karmelo Anthony, yes or no? No. Like I said, I thought he was going to get more than 35 years. Me personally, people are saying that, oh, this is his first offense, this, that, and other. Again, regardless, this is something that he did. He knew he was going to do. He carried the knife in his book bag. He's been carrying the knife in his book bag. So regardless, got to face those consequences. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all think. Catch y'all next one.